Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sade. I do everything DIY and home interiors and decor and all of that good stuff. Today's video is going to be a hallway makeover, which I'm really excited for. The hallway is looking a little bit bland and plain at the moment, so we're going to be revamping it and giving it a new lease of life, because they do say that the hallway gives you the first impression when you have guests over. So instead of it being kind of boring and white walled and just a bit there, hopefully we're going to make it have a little bit more character. Now, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please make sure that you do. It helps me out a lot. If you like this video, when you're watching, make sure to like it and leave me a comment as and when you feel. Now, I haven't really put together a mood board for this whatsoever, so it's kind of just a bit, it's just going to be a bit of a wacky, like, let's throw stuff together and see how it works out. I have kind of looked at some inspiration pictures, but our hallway is just so narrow, and there's not really a lot that I can do with it. I'm going to try and do small changes that will make hopefully quite a big impact instead. This feels so weird, like the hallway's proper echoing because I've taken everything out. So the first thing that I like to do when I start a new project is clean the area. So I'm just going to go and grab the hoover and the broom and the dustpan and brush, give it a sweep over, and then we can start getting on with whatever's going to be first. Just a quick look of the room for you. So this is the hallway. Actually, I'll start from when you come in to the hallway. So this is the hallway. Sorry about the lighting. So this is the hallway. As you can see here, there is a threshold and it's brown. This is going to be painted black. Here is a little bit of a teaser for you of the colour that we're going to be painting the hallway, and it's going to be painted all the way pretty much round. Now, my hallway does go all the way upstairs. I'm not going to be painting all the way upstairs. I'm going to keep it just to downstairs for now. But yeah, it's going to be painted all sage green. This here is my IKEA shoe storage cabinet. It's the hemnes and it is the 4-door one. You can get a slightly taller one that's got extra drawers. I'm going to be kind of revamping this and putting my own spin on it, and then that is going to be put over this side. Reason being is there is a plug here, and I find it kind of useless because you can't do anything with this plug. So the idea is that I'm actually going to be able to put a lamp on this afterwards, and I'm going to be able to thread the plug all the way down into the plug socket through the hemnes shoe cabinet. So hopefully that will work out. Up here we've got some pretty boring lampshades. We've got 2 of them, so I'm hoping to get something a little bit more eye-catching. We've got some prints which are going to come down. I'm hoping to do a little bit something different on this side of the wall just to make it a little bit more eye-catching, but it probably will end up being prints just depending on what I can get my hands on. And then as we come around here, so the paint is actually going to stop here. Now the reason being is if I carry on up here, I'm going to have to take it all the way up there, and I do not have the height nor the tools in order to do that. I don't even think I've got enough paint. I think I would like to eventually carry it on all the way around, but for now it's going to hit where I just showed you, and then it's going to come in this little section here, and then on this part of the wall I'm going to be adding my coral fan picture, which you should have already seen a video of. So if you haven't, again, hit the top right and you'll be able to go and watch that. Not sure if I'm going to keep this clock actually, because it's nice, it's black, so it will fit the decor, but I'm just not sure if it's the right vibe, so we'll see how it pans out. And then this is the coat rack, again black, so it will fit the decor. Nice and simple, nothing wrong with it. I just need to figure out if I want to keep it there or if I want to move it further down the hallway. Now, one thing that I haven't yet told you that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to hopefully be creating my own mirror. Now, I haven't done it yet, so we'll have to see if it works out, but I'm hopefully going to be creating my own mirror, something that should only come to about 30 or 40 quid, but if you were to buy it new, would be hella money. So fingers crossed, and you'll see at the end of this video if that was a success or a fail. But yeah, that's going to be something really exciting as well. So anyway, first things first, I'm going to tidy up the hallway, and then let's get cracking with that shoe cabinet upcycle. So first thing that I'm going to do is take this off the wall, and I'm going to be upcycling this. I was initially thinking to paint all of the unit black, paint the doors a very like off-white kind of like Hessian colour, change the handles up, add a top shelf and whitewash that top shelf with some lime wax. Let's see how it goes and if I like the vibes. I'm just thinking that the doors might look a little bit odd, so I might do a little bit more inspiration digging, but yeah, that's the vibes so far. Now all I'm going to do with this is apply some sugar soap, so I'm just adding some to some kitchen roll and wiping it all over everything, giving it a clean down. You are usually meant to dilute this with warm water, which would probably make it a little bit easier to clean, but this isn't something that has particularly loads of grease on and stuff, so it just needs a quick once over. So just doing that, and then once I'm happy with everything, I'm going to take it off the walls by unscrewing those 2 screws that you can see, and that's what holds it up against the wall. So taking those out, and then I'm going to move it into the dining room and put it in my makeshift like painting area, which I don't know why I'm doing this, because if some paint gets on the wall I'm gonna have a meltdown, honestly. But here we are, this is what I end up doing, just because I'm so lazy and it's really windy outside today, so I'm not actually going to take it outside to paint. But anyway, because we have cleared the surface and we've almost prepped it as such for the French teak paint, I'm just going to go in with that, and just in really thin layers. I'm not trying to get this opaque and a black colour all in one layer. I know that's not realistic, it's not going to work. So applying in thin coats means that the paint is actually going to adhere a lot better to the IKEA furniture, because the IKEA furniture has got a bit of a weird lacquer on it, so it's quite shiny as well. So doing thinner coats actually makes it adhere a little bit better. So I'll just keep doing these coats until I'm happy with the colour of it. But this is it after the first coat. It's looking a bit crazy, of course, but as I said, needs a couple more coats and it is definitely sticking, so I'm happy with that. And if you're wondering, this is the paintbrush that I used to do it. It's the French Chic medium-sized oval brush, and I just gave it a rinse out immediately because it does actually kind of like absorb some of the products and it's hard to wash sometimes. So soon as you're finished with your paintbrush, give it a rinse out with just some water. But this really makes the job a lot easier because it's so dense, it helps to move the product along. Because in all honesty, poor tools can actually make your life a lot harder when trying to do these little projects. So invest in some good ones. So next thing that I'm going to do is paint the doors. I'm going to take off the handles and then I'm going to prep them. Well, I've already prepped them, but I'll prep them again. I'm going to be going in with the chalky finish furniture paint in the colour Hessian by Rustoleum. This is the sort of colour palette that we're going with. I just wanted something that was going to give a little bit of warmth, and I think this will really tie in with that sage green colour. If it's not something that I like, no biggie, I'll paint over the top, but I'm going to try one of them and see if it looks like it will be a vibe. And I don't want to just make all of my furniture like kind of stuff that you can just pick up in stores. If I'm going to be personalising it, I want to make it really different. So I think this is going to be a good shout. Now this is a tiny little painting. It's 125 millilitres, and that was going to be more than enough for all 4 doors. So I'll get to doing those, and same method as the French Chic paint, I'm going to be using that oval brush to make sure that the paint is being distributed nicely in thin layers. I'm just taking a little bit of the paint and brushing it all over the front surface of the drawer. I'm not really bothered about the kind of inside of the drawer or anything because you're not going to see that, but I'm just going to be making sure that I can put these somewhere for the hour, that they can dry nicely, and then I'll go in after an hour again and give them perhaps a second coat. Okay, so little quick review from me. I really like this. So this is the Rustoleum chalky finish furniture paint in the colour Hessian. The colour is amazing. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can actually. It's just the most perfect neutral colour that I needed to tie in with the black unit that I'm painting. I didn't want it to be like monochrome, like white and black. This is perfect. I love it so much. And again, I didn't need to sand it down. If you have, it says on the tin, if you have bare wood, that they suggest you do sand it down. But for anything else, you can just use sugar soap to kind of remove any like contaminants and like take any oils and stuff off. So that's just what I did really. And then I just painted it. For some reason, at first I was trying to do really thin coats, and because I think it's quite quick drying because it's a chalky paint, it was starting to like come up on itself because I was almost like rubbing it off whilst it was semi-dry. So instead of doing really thin coats, I just kind of like lapped on as much as it needed to give it a good coverage, and that worked a lot better. So I'm going to put these away and let them dry for a good hour or so, and then I'll come back and give them a second coat. I think they'll only need 2 most likely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to whitewash the shelf on top so that I can pretty much just have that whole unit done, because that is a pretty big project, and have that all done like today pretty much, and then hopefully start on the wall. But anyway, let's get on to whitewashing the shelf. Okay, it's time to lime wax the shelf now. So this shelf is a just cheap shelf from a brand called what is this brand called? Cocktails, is that correct? I don't know. So this shelf is from B&Q, from a particular brand that I can't remember the name of. Anyway, it was £9 to buy, and it's 118 centimetres in length, it's 1.8 centimetres in diameter, and it's 23 centimetres wide. This is a perfect size for the IKEA hemnes. shoe cabinet that I've got, so it's literally just going to stick on top. I'm not doing anything fancy with it whatsoever. The only thing that I might actually do is round off the edges. They're a little bit square at the moment. This is just some pine wood, so it's nothing special, and it is actually meant to be a shelf for the wall, so you'll be able to see that there are some grooves, and there is actually on one of the sides it has got some holes on the other side, so I want to make sure that I'm putting the grooves on the back, or the holes rather, facing the wall, and that the holes on the top of it are actually facing downwards when I go to grip fill and stick this down. So I'm actually just going to go and get a sanding block or some sandpaper and just kind of round off the edges, just so it's a little bit more, I don't know, it feels a little bit more like rustic and friendly if I give it kind of more rounded edges, and then I will show you what I'm going to do. However, if you want a tutorial about how I fully line wax things, then I've got a full-blown tutorial, so if you click the top left of this screen now, I will be able to walk you through that in much more detail than what I'm going to go into today. So I'm taking this 120 grit paper and I'm just going to sand down the edges. It's going to be really simple and really quick to do, and it will just give that softer look as I described before. So I'm just going in now with a microfiber cloth and dipping it into the lime wax and then spreading it all across the board, and then just kind of rubbing it in and then taking off the excess with the same cloth, or you can use a spare cloth if you're getting a little bit messy. But then this just gives the most perfect look ever. Totally White Company vibes, absolutely love it. This is just such an easy method to upcycle some of your old furniture, so you should definitely give it a try. So I'm just stopping halfway through to show you what this looks like. Here is the more orangey side, the original pine, and then this is the lime wax side. So as you can see, much paler in appearance, more whiter, gives a kind of like White Company feel to the wood, and yeah, I just much prefer it. So I'm going to continue with that, and then I'll show you what it looks like all finished. And then afterwards I'm going to go in with the French Chic Paint clear wax, which again you just need to buff in. So I'm using a separate cloth to do this, and then I'll let it dry for a good hour or so. Top tip for you, if you are someone that hates cleaning your rollers and your rolling trays and stuff as much as me, or you're kind of like needing to change up your colours as much as I am today, so I'm going from the Hessian colour to the black, then put some tin foil into your roller tray, and it just means you can scrunch it all up and put it in the bin without having to start washing trays and stuff like that. So I'm just going to pour in some of the Hessian paint and then start rolling them basically. So this is what the doors look like after an hour and a half of drying. They feel really good, they actually feel solid, so I'm just going to go in now with a mini roller and that paint again. The reason that I'm doing this is because the brush is fantastic, however I think I want more of like a smooth finish, because both of the paints are so thick. Using a brush sometimes can give you like the brush stroke effect. Now if you want that effect, go for it, but I want something slightly more matte today, so I'm just going to be going in with this roller, because the brush strokes actually help to kind of define almost a texture for this next layer to sit on top of, and almost create like a rough surface for this paint to adhere to as the final coat. I'm loving that. That's actually really nice as a finish. So I would totally recommend doing that actually. So start off with the paintbrush, give it a nice layer, give it something to grip onto, and then give it a nice final finished layer with that roller brush instead. And then what I will be doing is going on top of these when they've dried again with that clear wax, just to seal everything in. But for now I'm just going to go let them dry for about an hour and a half again. So for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the walls ready for painting in the hallway, and then I'm going to run masking tape around everywhere so that everything is completely taped off, so that when I go to paint it's a really easy job. I don't have to worry about cutting in and being really steady with my hand. I can literally just go in with the paintbrush, whack on a load of paint, and then peel off the tape, and then everything will be okay. So that is my top tip. I always tell everyone that. Some people are really good at cutting in. I actually haven't really ever tried it. I just really like the method that I use because I get the cleanest, crispest lines ever. Gives me no stress, and I just take the half an hour, or however long it might take me, depending on what side of the room it is, to take everything off, and it just makes my life easier. Just a tip from me though, when you do peel them off, don't let the paint dry entirely. So you want to take the paint off when it's kind of like half dry, so it's a little bit wet. If you leave it for when it's like fully dry and you've done quite like thick layers, you might end up getting some cracking in the paint, so it's not going to give you as clean, crisp as a line as you would have expected. So just a little tip, make sure the paint is still a little bit wet when you're peeling off that tape. To line my walls and masking tape them off, I literally just use the cheapest masking tape that I can find. The only thing that I would say is you can get masking tape which is a lot skinnier than this. I always go for the thicker band ones, because when you're using your roller and you roll to the top, it kind of catches it on there, so your roller will hit that and none of the paint will go on the ceiling, or a lot less paint will go on the ceiling. So that is what I tend to do. I go with the thicker band and it just makes my life so much more easy. So I'm going to show you how I line everything and tape it off. It's really simple. Just try and create as straight lines as you can. Don't cut this off, just keep it in one long piece, drag it along if you can, and then it will just mean that it's a continuous, perfectly straight line. Anyway, so this is where the shoe cabinet lived before. So we've got some red wall plugs in here, so I'm just going to use a pair of pliers. You can use anything that you've got to hand if you can manage to get them out with your fingers, or if you've got some scissors. I've just got these to hand, so just want to get in there and take those out. And obviously I don't want those holes there anymore, so I'm going to go in with the polyfiller, and I'm just going to pop some of that into each hole so that I can go in and sand that over afterwards. I know people suggest using like a credit card or something with a flat edge to go in and smooth this over. However, and people have also said to me in the past, like, fill it with something before you go in and polyfill it. The reason that I don't think I want to do that is because the polyfill actually dries down to a really nice, like, thick a really kind of like hard consistency, which I don't want to get rid of, because if people were wanting to drill on this in the future, I don't want it to be full of like cotton wool, so that they couldn't drill properly into it and it wouldn't give it like a secure fixing, if that makes sense. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is, I usually do it in 2 layers because obviously they're quite deep holes. I usually fill it, leave it to dry for 5 to 10 minutes, however long I can leave it for, and then I'll go in and give it that second layer, which will actually mean that I can go in and sand it afterwards and everything will be perfectly smooth. So I've taped everything off that I physically can as best as I can. Ceilings, doors, light sockets, etc. and then the skirting boards. So I'm just going to go in now and just start painting. The paint colour we are going in with today is a really nice kind of, I keep saying sage green, I hope that's the right colour, but it's a really gorgeous, dusty, sort of muted green colour. It's been mixed by Valspar. I don't know if it's one of their own colours because it says custom colour. It's an interior matte paint. I don't actually know what mix-up this is. I do have the kind of like, I don't know what these are, if they're like the hex figures for the paint when they put them into the computer and stuff. So if you're really interested, I'll make sure I take a picture and I'll pop it on screen now so that you can see it just in case. Or if you comment down below, I'll let you know what it is so that if you want to get this mixed up yourself, you can. But yeah, so let's get pouring this. Before you open this, you want to make sure that you give it a really good shake. So Rob's just taken this outside for me and tipped it upside down and given it a good shake, so it should be mixed up really well. These are so hard to get off, these lids, honestly. They're really hard to get off. Yay! Looks cute. I remember the first time I opened this, I thought this was grey when I bought it, because the top of the lid, it actually looks like a really nice grey colour. But anyway, I opened this and I was like, oh, I bought green paint. But it's a nice surprise. So, oh, gorgeous. You actually want to try to not get all those dry bits in the paint, because they make your life really hard when you start painting the walls later on. Just a tip from me, if there is ever a colour that you really like, even if it's like an item, you can bring it to B&Q, take it to the Valspar spot, and they will actually colour match it and make that exact colour for you. If you don't quite like it, you get an option to bring it back and they'll try and make a better colour match for you, and then if you really don't like it, then I think you get your money back, blah blah blah. But more often than not, people really like the colour matches, so they often do that. So I'm assuming that's what someone did with this, because it is a custom colour. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a tip from me. I've actually not yet done it, because I always find myself in the kind of sale aisle of B&Q where they've got all these big tubs, but because it was in the sale section, someone didn't want it, they needed to get rid of it. I was able to pick it up for a bargain price of £10. So that's another little tip. If you're ever in B&Q, head over to the sale section, pick yourself up a tub of paint for half or a quarter of the price. Morning guys, so it is day 2 of the makeover and I've come downstairs and you can see it a little bit there, but I was a bit like, the hallway is green. Honestly, I can't stop laughing about it. I actually really like the colour that it is. It is such a nice green for a green, but it's green. So I'm like really unsure and uncertain of how I feel right now, really truthfully and honestly, but I'm gonna go show you what it looks like. So if you compare it to the ceiling, you can see just how green it is. It is really a gorgeous green colour. Like, I don't hate the colour whatsoever. It's just, I think I need to get used to the fact that it is green, and ignore those patches on the wall in the distance. I'm gonna have to cover those in white. Oh, here we go. This is giving you green. Can you see green? Green, give it to me. Yes, so anyway, so like, look, it is actually such an appealing green. Like, I think it looks so lovely, but I think I just need to get used to the fact that I've painted the hallway, because it's just so different. It's been like this for 2 years, just white. So having a colour on it is something that I'm just needing to get used to, I think. However, what I'm going to do now, I think once I start putting bits back in, it'll start to tie in and I'll be like, okay, no need to panic, calm down, everything's all good. So I'm going to now finish off the shoe cabinet. I did the final coats yesterday. All I need to do with that is finish with the finishing wax. Now what I'm actually going to do is secure it all to the wall first, grip fill the top down and then wax it while it's on the wall. I know that sounds really weird, but having it against the wall is going to be easier for me to wax rather than just how I've been kind of doing it. So anyway, that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go and fix it to the wall now and I'll show you how I do that. And I'm actually fixing it in front of this plug socket. Reason being, I want to be able to use a lampshade on top of the cabinet so that the hallway's a bit cozier in the evenings, because the light fittings themselves have daylight bulbs in just to brighten the space up, because there's not a lot of windows and there's not a lot of natural light coming in, so they're very bright in the evening. So this lampshade will give the hallway a bit more of a cozy vibe in the evenings. Hey guys, editing mode Sade here. I thought I'd jump on and just talk through this process with you. So I have marked on the wall with some pencil where I need to drill my holes, and I've got a drill bit that I think is to size or a little bit smaller. I always go in with something smaller or to size, never something that I think might be a little bit too big, because if you create a hole that is too big, then you're in for a world of trouble that you're gonna have to like refill it with polyfiller, re-drill it, and you know, I'd rather go in with something small and then go up a size if I need to. As you can see here, that's exactly what I've done. So I'm re-drilling that hole just to make sure that the anchor fits inside. Now the anchors that I am using are amazing for hollow walled new build houses. In new builds, I don't know if it's just a common thing, especially in our house, they're just hollow inside. So using just normal red or brown wall plugs, if you're hanging anything heavy on the wall, it's actually quite dangerous. And I've noticed that like some of my mirrors and stuff had been like hanging on for dear life after a year or so. So these are the special wall anchors that we use. I will link them down in the description box below for you. By the way, everything that I've spoken through today will be linked in the description box so that you don't have to do the hard work of finding the items yourself. Now what I'm doing here is just going in with the screwdriver and screwing those in place. The teeth at the top of the anchor will grip into the wall and it will expand on itself inside and create like a star shape. So when you unscrew them, then you can attach whatever it is to the wall that you need to attach, and it will be secure like you will not believe. There is no yanking that off the wall. So I highly recommend those wall plugs if you are looking for something for hollow walled new build houses. Okay, time to put the drawers in. So the drawers had all dried, and as I said, I was going to wax this on the wall afterwards. There's Rob being a silly Billy. Yeah, I was going to wax these when they were on the wall afterwards. So I put them all in place, and yeah, I just loved how it came together and looked. However, I was actually a bit silly here, and I put them back in place before I put the handles on. So when I closed this one, I was like, oh, I can't get back in. So I just had to go in with like a ruler and pry it back open. So just top tip, don't do that. Anyway, then I put my shelf on top, and I was absolutely buzzing with how that looked. So just attaching the same handles as before. I was actually tempted to put new handles in, but I thought these looked really nice. These are the original ones that come with the IKEA hemnes shoe cabinet. So yeah, I actually really like those as they are, but you could totally switch it up and use new handles if you liked. And then I'm going in with some grip fill that I just had left over in my garage, and I'm just using that to secure this shelf down to the top of the cabinet. Just a generous amount of it, and it really helps to stick it in place. I wasn't kind of doing this in any particular pattern or anything, just need a little bit to stick it down, and yeah, voila. Oh my god, the big reveal. So this is the before of how the hallway looked. Really boring, plain, white and bright. It was just a little bit, it lacked a lot of character, and yeah, I just wanted to switch things up and just do it on a budget really. So this is what the hallway looks like now. I actually love the green. It's been a couple of weeks since I did it, and I genuinely love the green so much. It's grown on me tremendous amounts. I am in love with the shoe cabinet. I'm so happy that I went with this decision, and yeah, I just think the whole hallway now just looks so warm and welcoming and inviting. I've got my little lamp there so that I can put that on in the evenings, and it's really cozy. All of these accessories will be linked in the description box, so just head down there, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, leave me a comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
From the start.